Vicinity info on 2CC.
It's 20 past 8, a partly cloudy day, patches of morning frost. A slight chance of a shower right across the region today too. Tops of 12 degrees across Canberra, Queanbeyan and Yass, 11 degrees in Murray Bateman, 10 degrees in Bungendore and Collector and 9 degrees in Braidwood. Time to catch up with One Nation Leader, Senator Pauline Hanson. Pauline, good morning.
Good morning, Stephen.
Yesterday, I guess a great show of unity in the Senate, passing the motion to condemn the vandalism of the war memorials here in Canberra. Of course, the standouts being the Greens, who refused to support it. And I got to say, I listened over and over again to the speech made by Senator Jordan Steele-John, and I still can't work out what the hell he was trying to say.
Stephen, we were just in awe. We were just gobsmacked about what he was saying. The stupidity of the whole lot was basically saying the war memorials are okay to face them, desecrate them, because, you know, that's a form of protest. So that's his answer to it. And the fact is that politicians bring on wars so people make money out of it. It was just ridiculous what he was saying. He was so childish. There's no common sense to it. It was very insulting. And, you know, these war memorials, and people have that opinion that this is glorifying war. How stupid that is. Yeah. They don't glorify war. They are actually our respect to those men and women that have made sacrifices for our freedom and our way of life in this country. So that's how stupid they are.
But the problem is, Pauline, let's for a moment say that they're right on all the issues, and it does glorify war, and Israel is 100% in the wrong, and what happened on October 7 was justified, or whatever it is they believe. Vandalism is still a crime.
Correct.
This is a senator in the Australian Parliament condoning criminal activity.
It is. And Stephen, what makes me so mad, people don't realise what the Greens really stand for. I see basically every time, some policy or legislation they vote for, their way of thinking, the way they talk, it's just ridiculous. And people think they're, all for the environment. You are so misled. They are the ones that their way of thinking is just, it frustrates me to no end. And, this is now a case of it. Like, they condemned, or they wouldn't respect the war memorials and the vandalism that is done. They protect these ones because they're in there protecting all about Palestine. And they've stood up there beside these Palestinian protesters who are out there. And, they protest on the streets, and the way the Jews are being treated, they've never spoken out against that. It's still hatred that's shown to another human being. Shouldn't be happening on our streets, regardless of it.
The irony of this, of course, is that Jordan Steele-John tried to infer that this is a version of free speech. But when you moved a motion to have an inquiry into enshrining free speech in the Constitution, they voted against it.
Correct. So I moved yes. Yeah, I know. That's why we all couldn't believe what they were saying there. It's all right to vandalise and destroy something that, more Australians now are coming out on Anzac Day and Remembrance Day to acknowledge these sacrifices made for our freedoms, what we have. And yet they've made this comment on the floor of Parliament about it, defacing it, that it's okay, it's a protest. But then when I put up something that for it to go to a Legal and Constitutional Affairs Committee that discussed the issue about putting the freedom of speech into our Constitution, which we haven't, they voted against it.
Free speech for some, but not for everybody, Pauline. That's what the problem is.
And so did David Pocock. So go figure. So, they don't want people to have the freedom of speech because freedom of speech is really the very heart of our democracy. And they're trying to bring in laws to shut us all down, whether it be on social media or whatever. And we're denied this right. And yet, again, the Parliament has denying people the right to have an opinion, have freedom of speech.
I think the sooner we go to an election, the better. Pauline, good to talk to you. We'll catch up next week.
Thanks, Stephen. Bye.
Senator Pauline Hanson, One Nation Leader.